For the Røkkr. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price on y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. A6 all the hate. I won't get involved today. Got lost in the ball and eggs. I'm flipping the bars. I'm flipping the.
Octane.
That's what we wanted. That's what I'm talking about. He don't miss.
All record deals. Tell him talk to Colin for the quote. All record, off record eyes. Still want to act, not the ghost. For the Røkkr, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CDL Week 3. And the first matchup of the day is going to be the LA Thieves facing off against the Paris Legion. And boy, I can't wait. Nameless, when it comes to this matchup, I mean, Paris and LA has been looking good. They've been streaky, and Paris has been kind of struggling right now. Do you think that this game might go down the wire? Do you think there might be an obvious edge looking at this on paper at the moment?
I think there's an obvious edge on the side of the LA Thieves. Their hardpoint has just been way better than the Paris Legion. I mean, I would argue that the LA Thieves have had some of the best hardpoint that we've had in the CDL. They're 5-1 in that game mode. And then like Envoy, he's got a 1.17. He's been lighting it up for them when it comes to hardpoint. They're going up against a Paris Legion team that can't seem to win it. Their reflex player's been struggling. Nobody's above a 1.0 KD in that mode on this team besides Temp. So I do think the LA Thieves have a massive edge there.
Yes, and aLLeY, when it comes to the game field keys to victory, LA Thieves, if they want to continue on with how well they're doing this year, what do they have to do in order to win?
Well, they got to take advantage of the hardpoint matchup. Thieves is 5-1, where Paris is 1-6 in hardpoint this season. Paris has been seriously struggling alongside of LA Thieves. It just feels like they keep getting hotter. And then, of course, find a consistent second game mode. They're 2-5 combined in SD and control. And I mean, Octane's been hitting those snipes, man. They got to start capitalizing on those first bloods and rotate early versus a weak breaking team. Paris is last in break percentage, where Thieves is third in hold percentage. So this is a weak breaking team, guys. If you get that early rotation, that hill is basically yours for almost the full 60.
Right, and take a look at the roster right now. One of the standouts, of course, is going to be Octane. We interviewed him last week, and that man fries. aLLeY, seeing him with a scope on Search and Destroy, it's automatic, right?
Hey, yo, man, GA the guy. Don't GA the gun. Octane has been nasty, but again, we have to talk about their Search and Destroy. Octane's getting those snipes. He's getting those first bloods, and even though rounds look like they're starting to go their way, somehow the other team always throws it back in their face.
Yes.
So as long as they can clean up those small mistakes in Search and Destroys, their hard points look great. They're basically guaranteed the series at that point.
Speaking about hard points, it was kind of like night and day, right? LA Thieves, they were like 5-1, and Paris, they pretty much struggled. And Nameless, yeah, when it comes to this, Paris, they're going to need all of their players to step up big time, especially going against the LA boys.
Yeah, they're absolutely going to need to step up big time. You need all three players. I mean, Temp is really the only one who's been playing well. And then even in the Search and Destroy, they're 1-4 in that game mode as well. Like, the only mode that's been consistent for them has been Control. And even that mode, it's been on Gavutu primarily. So, you know, looking at a Paris team, like, it just seems like they're lost right now. Like, the teamwork is just not there. They need somebody to individually have a big series to just lift up the spirits of the roster, because when they get in game, they sometimes get in advantageous situations, and it just goes straight to the pooper, dude. It does not work for this team.
So when it comes to the game field keys to victory, and what needs to happen?
Yeah, I mean, basically everything I just said. But yeah, improve S&D execution. They have a .76 team KD. They're last in round win percentage. Even when they get bombs down, they're not winning the round sometimes. Extend the series with Control. Thieves are 11th in round win percentage. So, like I said, the one mode that was somewhat consistent for Paris Legion in Control, maybe they can get themselves a win there. And then moving on, translate slaying success into a win in Control. Second in KD, 1.06, and 7th in round win percentage. So sometimes, like I said, when they put themselves in an advantageous situation, they throw it away.
Yes, now this team, Paris Legion, take a look at him. Temp, my man's is dialed in right now, and I expect this team to do a lot better than what we've seen before. 4-12 so far when it comes to maps, but still, some of the players on this roster, they can pull out a big win.
They can, but the issue is one player seems to be the only shining light for this team. And I'm not talking about like one player individually. I'm talking about each one of them will go off while everybody else is suffering. And it's got to be thinking, you know, who's the IGL for the squad? Who's being the play caller? Because they've seriously been struggling up until now, and we're about to head into Major 1. You can't be 1-6 in hardpoint heading into the Major.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time to lock things down, and it's time to send this over to Miles and Chance. Fellas, you got LA versus Paris. Hope you have fun with this. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Veli. Fun is definitely what we'll be having. Now, if you're like either of us, Chancellor, I am currently suffering from a tremendous ranked play late night 2 a.m. finish hangover, so you're going to have to carry me today, man. Is that all right?
I mean, that's fine by me. I would have been suffering in the same boat, but unfortunately my internet dropped after like the 7th game in a row I played. So I was trying to make up for it this morning, but as far as the maps and modes go for this series, I think this looks very dangerous for Paris. I'm not going to lie. You know, Thieves haven't been particularly strong in both Control and Search and Destroy, but they also have gotten maps that they like to play. We've seen quite a bit on Desert Siege. They definitely love Gavutu, and I think that's the standout thing for me. 2 Gavutus go through against LA Thieves. They have been very vocal. That is a map that they love. It is a map that they have a ton of success on. So I think it's a little bit spicy that Paris are going to square up twice against Thieves on this map. And we'll see how it pans out later on. Obviously, I know Paris is very strong on Gavutu Control. But the hard point, again, for Paris, that record has been dismal towards the very bottom of the league. Thieves, the complete opposite. So we're about to witness LA on, well, arguably their strongest map in their strongest mode. If that gives you any indication on where my head's at for this series, Miles.
Well, I understand why. I mean, again, Gavutu, a rotation-heavy map, and the LA Thieves will see what they can do. A favorite of theirs. You called it, brother. But here we go into our first P1 over by the ring, left-hand side of the map. And again, we're going to be seeing non-stop action, carnage, you name it. This looks like an opening break now from the LA Thieves. There should be kills going their way. Drazah's in. He's looking good. Kills are there. Presence now being felt. And 40 seconds up. We're going to see how much time we can get here. Not an easy hard point to break either. Chance teams tend to find quite a lot of kills here and time.
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, actually, like excluding just like the P1s, like the opening breaks, if you don't count those, I don't think this hill has actually been broken a single time, or at least not broken early enough in the hill that you end up getting the majority of time on it. So it'll certainly be the struggle bus. As far as it goes, though, Paris actually do fight back. They won't be in a situation where they can get the majority of time, and that's only if Fellow even wins the gunfight, which he does not. So scrap time by way of LA. Rotation currently, well, it's going to be a bit of a battle. So far, though, Temp is the first one there. Paris at least gets set up towards new.
And this is what Paris wants. Statistically not very good at breaking hills, but if they get in there first, let's see how long they can hold this one for. Temp, opening kill goes his way. You can see that minimap now is a slow and steady push. You're taking care of the flank. Now LA Thieves have to attack from the front. It's going to be Octane trying to hit a bit of an angle here. Drazah now from the top cliff side. We're going to get a shot or two in. Not going to happen. Dashy holds it down. Once again, Paris find the kills. Paris hold on to the time. One more hit now from Envoy up close. MP40, in he goes. Dashy guns him again. Trades are on point though. Over to Kenny now, V-Fellow. A chance this is the best look we've seen from the LA Thieves here on P2.
Doesn't look so far. A little bit of scrappy time. Final 30 seconds left as well. This is a decent chunk of time. And Paris, they're playing an aggressive. Temp's able to pick up 2. And I was going to say, should be able to get the 3rd. So there you go, Paris. You talked about it, Miles. You mentioned they're strong when they can get those holds. P2, they made successful for a tied-up game if LA fights for the scrap, or maybe Paris have a slight lead. But much more importantly, that rotations, it is Paris's free and clear. They will go in towards this money hill with a setup that they like to have. And Temp right now, 7-1 on a 6 spree. Looking for the glide. Is in between 3 people. Somehow still staying alive.
Gets it. Gets it. Temp, well played. 8-1 now. Glide straight on in. Going to break the hard point. This is going to get at least one player off of it. His teammate spawning on the right-hand side. This should be good. Danger close. Octane's out of the hard point. Here come the rest of his teammates after a 2-piece from Kenny, though. But Temp is still going. Rat in hand. 10-2. Finally gets brought down. Over down to Decimate. Not able to get much going by the front side of the hard point. John now trying to creep in through the back. But as you see that little amphibious transport, it is hard to get the players out of there without committing to the push. Without that coverage, yeah, we ain't gonna get there. All Envoy has to do now is sit down, continue to knit this beautiful LA Thieves sweater he's got going on there and enjoy that time. He's dead though, Chance. And with that, Paris looking like they can get the next 15.
Still though, honestly, no, it's tragic because Drazah is fighting for the scrap time. Something aLLeY said on the analyst desk was one player for Paris may be popping off, but everyone else suffers. Temp right now 11-4, and while we saw him, you invested a glide bomb for the rotation. None of his teammates won the gunfights to get that initial time. He uses the glide, but even after that, Kenny picks up a big 2-piece, and it still turns into scrappiness. So, I mean, that is 2 hills back-to-back where Paris, they get that rotation, and look at the scoreline. They're down by 40 points, and now they have to fight to attempt to break this hill. I mean, talk about a wasted opportunity. I mean, Temp 11-4, John 2-10.
We'll see, though. John can get back on it. Envoy with a nice kill with that MP40. That's his third now in a row. Temp's holding the line. Brings him down. Pressure now from Paris mounting towards the hard point. We finally go. And it's Temp leading his way in. Lethals, tacticals out and about, but it's not going to stop. Octane, Kenny, and Drazah. The kills go their way. Dashy, the last man up, hoping for a pick or two, but he needs to get that body on the point. This hard point has been statistically what we have expected out of Paris Legion. Unable to get the break. Doesn't help that it's a very tough one to break, but either way, they're going to hold this one down. Next rotation, though, a super strong hard point. This should, be a good hard point for Paris Chance.
Oh, look at Envoy as well, backing John down so he can slide over to the new hill. And 3 players for Paris over towards P1. I know at least 1 or 2 of them spawned over there, but just so far away from the hill. But look at the pressure coming over towards the back. But Envoy is here. That is 2 in a row for him. And again, this is another hill where Paris has like sort of the advantageous side of the map. You think they're in a decent spot for the rotation, but it just becomes mixy and not able to collect a ton of time as Thieves effectively right now just trying to bully the opposition. Whether or not the Thieves are collecting time, they're certainly keeping it away from Paris. And I mean, it is a 90-point gap between these 2 teams. Arguably what the expectation for Gavutu might have been.
Indeed. And again, not necessarily getting the time isn't always a bad thing, as you saw there. We saw Paris Legion denied a good 15 seconds, even when they had numbers close to the point. Kudos there to the LA Thieves. Now, the final hard point comes to a close. We go back to the first. Over towards that ring once again, and LA Thieves, they are all over it. The red arrows on that minimap. Octane and Drazah, the last 2 up. Here comes John, gun down. Temp's up next. Is Drazah going to find the pick there, or are the teammates now going to back him up? Here comes the push. Drazah finds another one. 11-10 overall. Looking to find another. No, Temp's going to get him there. Ring around a Rosie we go, but Kenny, he ain't playing games. Finds one more. Teammates now coming through. Dashy there on point once again. The battle raging for first. Finally, it comes to a close. Chance. Here come the trades.
Yeah, the trades were on point. It was an absolute battle, but who comes out on top and gets the final 2-piece? Octane, like some player from the Thieves delivers. And once you get the clearance on this point, again, it is incredibly difficult to actually break in. So just another small moment where, like, if an extra gunfight that Paris is able to win, things could be so much different. But, I mean, that's the same thing for maybe 5 or 6 hills almost in a row. And it just resulted in, honestly, this is shaping up to be potentially the most dominant map of hardpoint we've had so far in the CDL.
And this is something we've expected out of the LA Thieves based on very, very early scrims, is that they are strong as hell on Gavutu. Again, an AR heavy map. They're having a whale of a time right now. Envoy now is going to press the hard point. Close he goes. Coverage there from the rest of the team. 1 member left of Paris Legion now on point, and Envoy has got his number. Stay alive, Dashy, if you can. Great shots there at close range with the automaton. Here comes Kenny to clean him up. The score line says it all, friends. 208 to 55. It's a late game resurgence here from the Legion, but is it enough, Chance? Is it too little too late?
It is much too little, much too late. I mean, even kills like that Kenny is getting when Decimate's like right behind him up top, like, I feel like there's, again, on almost every single hill, just 1 or 2 kills that Thieves are getting that ordinarily other teams would punish them and not allow them to get, but that is simply just not the case. It is a massive lead, and again, I think right now Thieves are just going for the Vanguard current record of largest blowout we have had so far. That rotation as well, you're just looking at the setup from Thieves. I mean, John's playing around P1, but you got to rotate towards the actual hill. As soon as they get inside, as soon as you get the ARs posted up, I mean, it's just almost hopeless to break into, let alone the fact that he's got the MP40, but maybe a nice beam from Fellow to try and get things started, but it's only 10 seconds to go.
And again, it's getting the assault rifle players forward. The automaton's getting involved. Drazah the other side of the board, though. He's going to get 2 right off the rip. Into the point we go, and this should be the end of it. Last ditch attempt from Legion. No one able to get the kill. Drazah and the LA Thieves take map number 1, and in a very, very dominant fashion. These guys, they're feeling great, and I mean, rightfully so. Fantastic opening.
I also need a John Boy breakdown just to get the lip reading for Drazah in that situation. But I think, as a wise Magnus Carlsen once said, too weak, too slow. I think Paris had literally nothing to offer almost from start to finish. I mean, there were certainly early opportunities. Again, strong setup over towards P2. Paris tied things up. They had that rotation at P3. And in that same time, Temp is getting streaked out. So it is genuinely a very solid start for like the first 2 hills plus the rotation to third. And then after that, Paris accomplished literally nothing on the map.
Yeah, very, very dominant opening there from LA Thieves. That's how you play Gavutu hardpoint, friends. Keeping an eye on those rotations. And again, we come back to the statistics. I'm going to bang on about the numbers, mate, because now we've got them. At Paris Legion, when they didn't get an early rotate, we look across the highlights, when they didn't get into the hardpoint first, they struggled immensely. There was a few times, you know, they get a couple of decent holds there on ship, towards the back dock side, on P5 as well. Those were the only times they really accrued any solid time chance. I mean, what's the go here from Paris Legion when it comes to their Gavutu hardpoint? Is it, you know, getting in the ARs in position faster, just watching out for those sneaky LA Thieves players? Like, what is it? What's going wrong?
Well, it's almost like a laundry list of explanations of what's going wrong, right? I mean, even with that game alone, I mean, in fairness, there are a few tiny things. Like, this is one moment, by the way, Octane versus Decimate for the 1v1. If Decimate wins it, well, then it's Paris that actually had the advantage in the hill. So there was a lot of little moments like that where they just needed the extra gunfight. But there's also so many different hills where a Thieves player, for whatever reason, is just allowed to pick up some unnecessary 2-piece or just, like, play off the scrap or whatever the case may be. But I mean, just disconnect from Paris. Again, right now, I think either the worst or second worst hardpoint record in the league. The only team we have in the CDL yet to win a series. And again, as soon as I saw the map set for this match, I was like, 2 Gavutus against Thieves. Like, you're asking for it.
We'll see, though. We'll see when we get there. First and foremost, Berlin Search and Straw will be coming up next. And Charles, you're not wrong there, mate. I mean, Gavutu's been good for the LA Thieves since off the rip, but hey, anything can change. And hoping to see that Paris Legion find that special something, that va-va-voom, before we get into the major, of course. We'll be seeing everyone there. If you haven't already got your tickets, come on down to Texas, mates. It's going to be absolutely delightful. Can't wait to get that one going. I know the OpTic Texas guys have been preparing a lot of cool stuff, getting the arena looking all fine. Can't wait to see how that one goes down. But of course, first and foremost, Berlin Search and Destroy. Now, Chance Paris Legion, how are we faring them going into the search? Is this going to be the comeback moment for them? Your face says it all.
You know, 0.76 overall team KD in Search and Destroy. Again, maybe 11th or 12th in the league in hardpoint. Very bottom of the league in Search and Destroy. And that is honestly one of the most surprising things about this squad. Like, if I built this Paris team going into it, I would be telling the players, like, if you guys aren't the fry men in Search and Destroy, you're just not going to have success. And I mean, again, this is a team that I think would need to be top 3 in S&D to have success to start taking down series. And instead, again, literally 12th. It is not a fun look and not a fun situation for them to be in. Admittedly, the S&D hasn't been Thieves' necessarily strong suit, but still, I'm very much concerned for Paris.
Well, we'll have a look. These are our top performers on either team coming into the Search and Destroy. Up first, that's not ideal, is it? Well, Dashy's got, keeping the numbers, good as far as we can go, but the KD, that's really the big difference maker here. Obviously, Sam LaRue, Mr. Snippety Snaps himself, he's been putting on a show all season long. I know that's only 3 weeks and kickoff, but he's certainly been turning heads. Nice to see him back in fine form as Octane. He's been big man with a big gun when it comes to Search and Destroy here for the LA Thieves. That's been at the other side of the board, though. Again, a player renowned for his Search and Destroy prowess. When it came to BO4, we saw some amazing stuff out of him. MW at times great, made an incredible surprise, appearance for the New York Subliners back in Cold War at a major. Yeah, boy, was putting up double digits against some of the best in the league. For now, though, let's see if Paris Legion can pull back the curtain and show us the magic as we now get into this Berlin Search and Destroy. For a team like this now, Chance, morale is starting to get into question. You've lost in tough series. You are coming into the major, looking at a lower bracket start. It's all about keeping the mental game strong at this point, surely.
Exactly. And confidence is like one of the single most important things to have in Call of Duty. If you can play with confidence, you will have so much of a better time on the map. It really is something that can start to get into your head. But, and again, to this point, they don't have a series win so far this year. Not a ton of confidence to be had. And even when Temp was popping off that game, but even he can't bring himself to smile because you just get blown out in the first hard point. And your top performer in S&D has a 0.86. Certainly not ideal. And then, of course, on the flip side, again, the struggles have certainly been mentioned for Thieves in the S&D. Their overall record is not that great, but it's not as if they're not playing well, right? Octane has absolutely been one of the higher impact snipers that we've had. We have seen fantastic clutches out of Kenny. Envoy has occasionally turned it up and dropped massive double-digit games in Search and Destroy. They, I think, are in a situation where it is like little things, like, tweaking the smallest of details, making these slight adjustments, maybe doing a little bit more VOD research on their opponent to strengthen your game plan going in. But a couple small adjustments here and there for the Thieves, and they're going to be right back to being one of the better S&D teams in the game. For Paris, it's a complete overhaul. 2 players in the 0.6 range. I mean, again, I don't know how much work they can necessarily put in the past week to try to prepare for this game mode, but I mean, it is a necessity for these guys to be able to turn up an S&D. And honestly, this looks great. I mean, effectively, they've been gifted a free B plant. They're not playing aggressive on it yet. Now Octane's backed up for the cross, but we'll see what Paris elect to do as they feel out the round.
Yeah, Octane can be the only man looking over towards B. If he gets eyes on, it's all good. Drazah must be tingling right now, man. They're very, very close to him. Temp's going to get some opening shots. Not enough, though, to save Dashy, who will be taken down there. That's going to be the first blood going the way of aBeZy Thieves. Still, that bomb etching closer forward. Octane in prime position here to watch those players coming out of mailroom chance. This could get ugly quick. Paris hoping for a pick.
You see number 6, John, is thinking about crossing, able to make it. I do see a grenade in the hands of Octane. I don't know if he's going to try to coordinate with his teammates as you see a bunch of those red arrows wrapping back. A gunfight down low. Envoy playing with the flank. And a couple players actually mid-map. Temp able to find one, and now Thieves, they have to be constantly concerned as this bomb will get planted. Kenny here just a moment too late, but he does find the kill.
There's the kill, the second as well. That was a decisive run. Kenny's timing was ideal. Whether the timing was great or not, I mean, again, kudos to John. As soon as the bomb goes down, first thing he does, tries to blow the hinges off the door with a melee. That's smart moves. And again, looking to see Paris get set up for that. Post-plant position, not going to happen. Fellow caught out and about there, cut down immediately. Good stuff for Kenny. Charles, before you get into the analysis there of that round, for those of you who fund stats fans, that last hard point on Gavutu, 57, the score that Paris accrued, is currently the lowest score we have seen in a hard point all year long. Go you, stats guys. And Carson, we love you.
I think that might also be the first 100-point club. I know there's one other. I think there was another map that was like borderline 100-point club that I think a team scored 101 on or something along those lines. But yeah, no, map 1, not even remotely close. It was bad. And you also, by the way, talk about the mental game. As 3 players get spotted on lacrosse, that should basically be a free plant over towards B unless Temp can go crazy. But Temp not even going crazy. He's giving up the bomb plant because he feels the pressure. He's also getting hunted down. He finds the first, and honestly, I think if you're 10th, you'll take that. You're by yourself, you still find a kill. That is you doing your job.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Teammates here picking up kills as well. 2v2 now. Back over by the bomb site. Here comes John. Finds one. Right in the wrongs of the last round. Octane now backed up. Pistol in hand. Oh, and he's going to rat-a-tat-tat. 1v1 now. Plenty of time to get the bomb down if he so chooses. But here comes Decimate. Will he push faster? A little speedier? Maybe. 1v1. Post-plant position now for Paris. Trying to get themselves involved here. And Charles will go back and forth, 35 on the clock.
Yeah, Desi knows he has a sniper trap. Now, obviously, Octane picked up the MP40, but he's going to be in a corner. Desi has the intel, and he's got the timing.
Shots! Oh my God, he nearly did it. With the beatdown, dude, he hit him, I think. It might have been a hip fire, but if he punches him there, sweet Christmas. Solid round out of Legion. Desi holds it down in the 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Solid round. Definitely concerning for the final moments. It looked like not necessarily nerves, maybe some awkward timing for Decimate, but clutches the 1v1. That is what Paris needs. I think the point you brought up about the ability to play with confidence, the mental game you have going into this. I want to see Paris start to make plays like on the map, play with some confidence. Like I love John going for the fast hit to wrap around just to chow that guy and try to get him off bomb. The aggression, I think, is what they need. Want to see them try to string that together on offense as well. And honestly, this may be the case. 4-man hit over towards A, though. Thieves last time they stacked it. And 2 or 3 players are going to be nearby again.
Envoy on the door. Desi first blood, love that. Gonna get the party started nice. Here comes Envoy in the peak. Oh, nice nades coming through from Kenny, though. Is going to even the field for now. 3v3 reposition. Love that table spot from Envoy. 6 HP in a dream, though. Flying out. Kenny on the coverage. Nice nade from Fellow. It is an absolute fiesta here on the A site. It is a 2v2, though. Envoy, though, slip slides out. Makes it more interesting. Here comes the potential 1v1. Yes. Envoy should have the drop here, though. Fellow heard the shots. We go back now to a 1v1 bomb down. 45 on the clock.
Fellow effectively has him trapped. He should be checking all the corner. He's playing aggressive. Fellow looking for it, gets him tagged, but he also has to go and get that bomb, and now Envoy is backed out of sight, and Fellow yet to pick it up.
I love this, though. He pops steady. He's flying quietly. Envoy, don't check them corners. 1v1! Envoy gets it. Oh, and you see Fellow's face bottom right, the frustration there. He made the right run, made the right read. Envoy with the snap. We'll see that last kill cam here as he nailed those final shots. I hope you could see the kill cam. Maybe not, actually, but Envoy clutches up in a big way.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Fellow didn't sort of chase Envoy when he had him tagged up by the steps and like pick up the bomb at the same time, but at least had good reads on the full wrap, but just comes down to the 1v1. Envoy gets the best of him. And honestly, Envoy is making plays on the map as well, right? He's the guy that goes on that quick flank to find a pick and really open things up for his team just to put them in the decent spot. Temp, once again, the low man defending B. We've seen it so many times. It is very difficult to retake B if you allow them to get the plant. And that's even if you get that first blood, which this time Paris not yet able to deliver. So they better have a strong game plan for this retake.
You called it. It's not easy to retake B. This is a 4-4. All even up now on the retake. Paris, here they go. Slow and steady. You know the setup. You can see the formation right now. Octane at the far back line with a snipe. He's got eyes on the bomb. Anyone crosses it? Oh, misses the cheeks of Fellow, but the second one does land. 20 seconds now, trying to get the defuse. Here comes the pressure from up close. Drazah not able to get two. Kenny now creeping his way forward. Decimate manages to take care of two players. Dashy finds two. Temp last player up. There's no hope in hell, surely, that he finds it. And there's the tags. There's the damage. LA Thieves, the perfect post-plant spot to be in, and they make it work.
And horrible might be too extreme of a word. Maybe I'm just having that on the mind after watching the Gavutu, but I mean, they didn't even start taking gunfights until there's 25 seconds left on the clock. Like, you're on defense. You know they're going to be in the back, and they just didn't play aggressive. And Paris was convinced that whoever planted the bomb was still on site. They're committing grenades to it. They're trying to clear that out. That's why Fellow is taking that wide angle as he's just getting sniped at. I mean, Paris just unaware and just so slow with trying to go for that retake. I mean, they basically gave themselves a 5% chance at clutching that round. But now we go to the next one. John gets that first blood and backs another player down. Advantage early on for the Legion.
Yeah, absolutely banging his way through the doors there. Almost took Envoy out as well. Lovely opener from Paris here as the first kill goes their way. Will they capitalize on the fast rotate now towards the A bomb site? It's going to come down to Kenny to get eyes on those players. No one saw the cross, but Kenny, here comes the trouble. Little do they know, though, that Kenny's the trouble. First kill comes through. There's the nades. Temp from the top rope. Nails it. Kills go down. Chance 3v2. Here come the Thieves.
Got to dodge the snipes when you go for this bomb plant. You got to worry about the flank. Those are the only two ways to clutch the flank is taken care of. And, well, Octane doesn't even have the snipes. And he gets spotted, taken down, and dropped. Clean and efficient round from Paris. Love the play call. They get the first blood. Take a few moments to talk it over and go for the quick wrap around. And even Temp doing a nice job just to make sure he trades out Kenny. I think that was probably the biggest moment of the round. If Kenny's able to get out with his life and just stick that in the 3 versus 3, Bears do not have that opening to get the bomb down, but Temp is on point. Pretty much the sole top performer in the Gavutu, trying to carry that through to the Berlin. Again, the type of round Paris needs. And this, by the way, I love. Temp has been left by himself so often at B. Now he's got a lot more help. Octane's there for the snipe. Can't quite get it. But at least you've got more pressure on defense.
And look at the pixels he's aiming at. Just the right-hand side of that bomb site, he's got lined over by Plat. That's nuts. All right, John, mid-map now. You've quite literally managed to dodge a bullet here, Paris. The defense is still holding it down. Fellow makes himself a piece of cover. Kenny with a nice nade. Kenny with a nice nade. The shots now, the coverage coming through. Bomb being planted. John gets two. Unbelievable. Does manage to stop the bomb being planted as well. Octane's trying to reposition and hope for something here. Fellow's got the site covered. Oh dear, this round has gone a little squirrely for the LA Thieves. Drazah, what can you make of this now? Can John find his third of the round? Quick reposition. Drazah backing on up. John gets his third, and he didn't get 4, right? That was the ace for John, but Paris bounced back on Berlin.
That was absolutely the ace for John. John just fried them that round. I mean, just walking in for the free first 2 kills. He collects the next one as well. Great flake on Octane for the snipe. And John was the slow performer on the Gavutu. And so far, he has stepped up big on the Berlin. I mean, first bloods in the previous round with some good calls, picking up an ace in the next one. I mean, again, maybe one mishap around in my mind for Paris on their slow retake over towards B. But other than that, they've been playing great. And I think if not for that 1v1 that Envoy was able to clutch earlier, be a 4-2 game in Paris' favor. Once again, aggressive John already taking over the back. And keep in mind, he's on a 5.
Making a lot of noise as well. Stuns in. Doesn't connect. Shots now coming through from Drazah. This is going to be a tight cook. Gets around the corner. Doesn't get the kills. Here comes Temp, though. An exchange now of all the lethals and tacticals are out and about. Paris are committing to the fight here. You've got Fellow watching the back flank, and it is just doorway action right now. Big win from Temp to start the fight off, and here we go. We should see the shuffle now. LA Thieves getting pressured big time. Dashy flies through. Temp gets another one. Octane last out. He's done. Oh, wait a minute. Octane managed to find one out of this, but there you go. Paris push the advantage. Don't let that one get away from them. Another great round.
They love the aggression as well. Hunting Octane down towards the end. 2 quick, effective flanks coming through, dealing with Kenny, who I think was on the steps, and even Temp just to open things up, just gunning Drazah with the automaton. Taking care of business. Another very strong round for Paris. And again, this is what they need. Again, they are 12th when it comes to like round percentage win in Search and Destroy. Their record is not far from it. But Thieves obviously have had a few S&D struggles as well. I still think Thieves are very capable of bringing this back. And you see Octane's putting away the snipe, spots out John. Paris again, aggressive over towards B. I think as soon as Octane gets that information, yeah, that's the call for the team of like too much pressure over there. They might have library control. Bring this back to A.
I like that attempt. Eyes on mid. Fellow will spot those players when they do eventually get into that office towards the A bomb. Nothing just yet. So, oh, he's definitely, yeah, he saw that. Here comes Paris on the reshuffle. Bomb planted.
Will the nades be in time to get Envoy off the bomb? There's the stun that connects her like 180. He's down to 8 HP, and they get the 2 picks along the way up to Drazah and Octane to try to clutch this from the back.
Oh, here comes John, though. 6 spree. John gets the 7.
Perfect.
That's 7 in a row. The absolute perfect retake from Paris Legion. Ample time to think about the defuse and have a little talk about that one. Fellows on it. Brilliant stuff out of Paris Legion. Dude, this is like 3-4 rounds now in a row. They have looked sublime.
And just making good, aggressive, like confident calls as well. You can almost write it down. That is the way. Fellow might get left over towards that A site. As soon as he gets information, it was the instantaneous wrap back from Paris. They get nades on the guy on bomb. You catch the 2 players after you get them weak as well. And then even the one thing John knows that he has to deal with, it's the clutch spots in the back. Well, he goes on the flank, picks up the perfect 2. He is fully streaked out, and this is a very easy play call for Paris. John, stay alive. Everyone else just go get this bomb planted and let him call in those streaks. And especially for Thieves, just giving up B completely. This should be just a completely free round for Paris, but they're not playing aggressive on that bomb.
Yeah, they're waiting for it. They're waiting for a pick, presumably. Okay, here comes the streaks. Maybe a little bit early here from John. Doesn't find anything. Guns and knives. The good old-fashioned way for now. An Envoy. He has snuck through. Eyes on Fellow. First blood goes the way of Temp, though. Shoots his shot a little early. It's okay. It happens to some of us. And there we go. Now the retake. All on Drazah. He's now going to make it a 1v3. Temp's up next. And Drazah can't get it done. And Paris Legion, baby! Welcome back! Sprung to life. The LA Thieves fell asleep at the wheel.
On the board, that is all you need for Paris. Tied 1-1. Doesn't matter if you get blown out in game number 1. 1 map at a time, and they delivered. Honestly, Thieves, I mean, they just got picked apart by effective, like, default setups. It's not like Paris is doing anything completely absurd. Just clean, easy calls from them on both offense and defense, utilizing the streaks. Maybe not the way I was expecting off the rip, but that might have just been because I was looking at the mini-map, but use the Glide Bomb, get that clearance, and just win the round. Clean game across the board for Paris. Everybody delivering, and John especially, just that 7 spree that he goes on. Paris, that is the type of search and destroy game they need to be able to deliver. And they certainly provided there on Berlin.
Confident indeed now as map number 2 comes to its close. Berlin S&D is a 6-3, baby. Gavutu control, though, that's going to be coming up next. And Shots, that's actually coming up after our break. Røkkr Hardpoint and Desert Siege search and destroy. I'm kind of looking forward to that showdown in the desert. You know, if we have to go to game 5, my pick'ems aren't about that life, though. And I don't think yours are either. But we will see, mate, as this series has certainly opened things up. Chance, surprised, disappointed, shocked? How you feeling before we go to break?
I'd say a little bit surprised, and honestly, like we talked about Gavutu being very strong for Thieves, but funnily enough, Paris, I think they are one of the best, if not the best teams in the game on defense for Gavutu control. Their offense, though, they are one of the worst, but hey, you pull that defense off in the round 5. Paris, in theory, they can take care of business in game 3.
We'll find out if they can take care of business after this very quick commercial break. We come back, Gavutu control.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Viewers, welcome back. Now, feast your eyes upon the ace that John brought to Paris Legion to help tie everything up. And my man, Frying Chance, an absolutely standout round, even did a little pirouette to celebrate. Lovely stuff, indeed. As Paris Legion tie the series up 1-1, Gavutu control up next. How are we feeling now, though, mate? You said the defensive rounds weren't so good for Paris.
No, the opposite. Their offensive rounds are towards the very bottom of the league when it comes to Gavutu. Obviously, Gavutu, a very defensive-sided map. But on defense, I can't remember if they're exactly the strongest. And obviously, there's a lot of matchups that they haven't had, but one of the best defensive round percentages on that map. So I think Paris are very much in a situation. Clutch up on your defenses. Make sure you win them in a dominant fashion. And on offense, just don't get massively outslayed. Try to pull that defense for the round 5 should we get there, which honestly, that's kind of my expectation. And you will be good to go. Obviously, Gavutu is still a little bit scary. As LAT, actually, the exact same defensive win percentage. I know Tuscan is coming to the mix a little bit, so it's not quite perfect, but honestly, very similar. Neither team strong on offense, both teams very strong on defense. That will be the battle.
Well, we'll see as the battle is about to begin. Here on Gavutu. Temp, of course, this match so far managed to pull themselves out of a sweet deficit. As somebody tweeted me on Twitter saying that John got more kills in the search and destroy than he did in the hard points, so kudos to him. What a bounce back that really was. Tied up 1-1. Here we go into Gavutu control. 2 zones. Capture them to win the round or kill your opponents 30 times. Let's get it.
Look at these, by the way. That is 3 players. You make sure you watch the flank. If Dashy gets a kill or if the, oh my God, the nade blew the barrel up, and that is going to be the thorn in their side. Decimate, if you can win that gunfight. Actually, they don't. There's not even a rat back, so this is pressured. They got a 2-man stack right now on B. Already a ticket through Thieves. This is a perfect opening break.
2-man stack, one's over towards A. This is going to be the pinch from the players coming out of spawn. And okay, second segment of B is gone. LA Thieves pulling out all the dirty tricks here on offense. But wait, here comes John flying forward. Kills come through. Kenny there from P1. Kenny, woo, gets himself 2. Decimate should be able to slow him down and cut him. There it is. Fellow's going to get there as well. So Paris, the defense comes together in the final moments. Life count even for now. But those 2 segments on B chance, not a lot of teams capture B. Let's say that out loud now.
Yeah, no, you get 2 ticks off the opening break, especially when the nades are causing problems to like open up that P1 flank initially. That is Thieves just doing fantastic work. And honestly, stringing together just a very strong round of offense. So we kept talking about it or I kept talking about it being defense heavy. Thieves trying to make that not be the case. Now you got Drazah playing for kills, and kills, well, he shall not find. It is a 2-life advantage right now. 1.5 ticks over towards A, but Paris, it looks like the swarm is here. They have stabilized. They are starting to find all these kills for the moment. And I think they can now like take a nice big breath, sigh of relief, as they've actually regained control of this round.
Paris can still win this, though, even with only 1 segment remaining on either zone. This ain't gonna go quietly, though. This is what Paris wanted. This is the defensive hold, the setup they're looking for. Temp with the shots. Pressure now from the LA Thieves, up close and personal. Managed to get themselves on the A zone for a moment, trying to overwhelm the shit. Will it be Mutiny? Will they be able to get on board? No, Temp drains it. Now looking towards Envoy, trying to make his way over towards B, but Fellow's in position there. Chance 30 seconds remaining, and the lives are starting to dwindle for either side.
And I think right now Paris knows the name of the game, right? You just have to keep a little bit of pressure over towards P1. That's what Fellow's going to do. And then you can just pick them apart after they cap A. Does not make a difference. You are just playing hardcore for the kills.
He's gone now through mid-map. Octane's going to walk into that one. Holy dooly. John with the top boat control for now. Kills coming through for Fellow. Okay, 1v1 on the boat side now of the map, and that's going to make things a little easier coming from that direction. Over to the beach side, though, all decimate. Now through mid comes Drazah, trying to fight their way forward. Just over a minute to play with, but 10 lives either side. Chance. This is going to have to be very, very conservative from both teams.
Well, it could come down to lives or if Thieves. I mean, if they ever get a 3 and if they get a 4-man wipe, that's just GG. They got a 1-man stack. And look at the nades. That is opening up the route for Kenny. He is 9-3. He is pierced through the middle, but Fellow just guns him. Now Drazah on the back, taken down by the headshot multiplier as well. In Paris, it was the same on the Gavutu hardpoint. If there's just a few single gunfights that they are able to win, they have so much more success. This time they win the gunfights. This time, unless they get blown out in the final 30 seconds, they should be secure on defense. They have made up for that opening break.
Last push now. And the kills coming through already from Paris Legion. Kenny hoping for a pick. Not going to let the time run down. They're looking to find these kills as they slowly but surely make their way up the beachhead. Kenny still providing the shots. And again, we are going to let that clock run out. You don't want to let these kills go because there's only 3 lives left now. Now make it 2. For the LA Thieves, 3 for Paris Legion. Oh my, they're on point. Wait a minute. 2v2. This is not over yet. Oh my God, it's a 1v1. 0.4 on the clock. Fellow v Kenny. Kenny sees him, tags up, Fellow on the jump. Oh, baby, Paris in the 1v1. What was that control round?
Stressful, I think, is the word for it. Maybe for both of those teams. Fellow, again, we talked about, like, B-Sport Josh, by the way, pointed out on the Gavutu hardpoint, Paris only got outslayed by 11 kills. So it wasn't that dismal in the slaying category. It was very specific gunfights that just turned into Thieves completely dismantling them. This time, not just the 1v1 towards the end, but Fellow also had Kenny's number when he was trying to pierce through the middle of the map. Temp is winning big gunfights as well. Again, literally just 1 or 2 gunfights go the other way, and Thieves turned that into a strong offensive round, but defense, the hair on their chinny chin chins hold strong, at least for round 1. Thieves trying to do the same.
Thieves trying to do the same. Wow, unbelievable. I believe we do have the option to go for it now. Let's do this. In control, baby. Paris Legion. Let's get a listen in and see how they attack.
Mid tank. I'm coming, John. They could already be both.
Yeah, he stunned me.
I see the guy mid tank. One's back green.
Top bow. He's in top bow.
Backside stairs, homeboy.
I needed it.
They did top boat too. Stairs, homeboy. On boat. Hit a top boat as well.
Drazah. I got him.
Orbiting stairs, Drazah dead. Nice, good shit. Mid tank. Sam, you ran close boat.
Yeah, I'm challenging him.
I'm trying to get their hole. I'm looking at their hole for you.
Oh, he's outside. Yo, one's up mid tank and one's outside. You mid tank.
Mid tank, Kenny dead.
One's outside the hole.
Still here.
Yeah.
Sam, he's top boat, homeboy. He's dead. Sam, come up on you. He's top on me. Has had bullets. He got me.
Yeah,
that was the streaks.
He pushed that cliff. It looked like.
I'm Simp cliff. Yeah,
cliff.
The
other guy could have went left. We didn't kill anyone left. We gotta stop the clock, guys. Yeah, I hear you.
They're mid, Kenny, weak. And then the one close mid, Drazah.
Yeah, he's inside boat.
Drazah's close mid tank, and then they got
he's on the mid tank.
There's.
Oh, Kenny dead.
Outside boat.
Flank, Kenny dead. Nice 3, look for Octane. Cap. Let's stack.
Mid. I'm pushing out P5.
I'm getting top boat. Alright, I'm going top boat. He's push out P5, we should be good.
2. Okay, 2 P5, one way green. Help him.
You gotta come middle.
Mid. I'm trying to get mid off the spawn. I'm trying to get mid off my spawn.
They're looking at me, dude.
Middle.
Mid dead.
Oh, no, same spot.
Yeah, oh, my bad.
All good.
It's okay, we're up a few kills. It's all good. We're up like 4 kills.
Transfer the comms, up a few kills, not a massive bit of a problem there. And again, nice to hear an entire round there of control. LA Thieves, they bounce back.
And honestly, I think the comms were pretty good. Like, stack the point. There's not time. We got to stop the clock. We're pushed out. P5 were good. Obviously, the P5 gunfight does not go their way. They get double challenged. But then after that, I mean, it seemed like they weren't quite on the same page of who needs to watch what. Like, who needs to watch the hole in the boat. He needs to watch the left push, and a little bit disconnected. Obviously, in a moment like that, incredibly difficult because you're getting swarmed from all sides. But maybe just a small thing you wish they could have done better. At the same time, though, again, back-to-back clutches on defense. And as far as the kills go, it doesn't matter that the Thieves got the 2 ticks over towards B and played so much better on offense. Literally, the only thing that matters is kills when it comes to getting that round 5 defense. So not the worst thing for Paris is right now at Envoy, by the way, 5-15. So I'm pretty sure that means the kill advantage for the moment, certainly towards Paris.
You have to assume, yeah. Envoy 5-15 still. Looking to change that. Here comes Fellow. 6-15. We're not going to count every single one, but we're just going to let you know that it's going a little better now for the Dark Prince. 3 kills now going the way of LA Thieves right off the rip. Life count starting to sway towards them a little bit more as well. Capturing A as well, so that second segment is on its way out. If you can get that one going now for the LA Thieves, all sweet. Kenny is absolutely twisted right now, flying around. Lovely bit of shots there from what we call top third. John's pinned. John's in trouble. Second segment now cleaned up, Chance, as the pressure now mounting. LA Thieves, they've got, A's theirs. Looking at that mini-map, you've given up a lot of the defensive hold here from Paris Legion. They're now turtling up and looking forwards to the hit at B.
Envoy stepped up big as well, right? You talked about coming in this round at 4-15. Well, he starts it off on a 5 spree. It is not easy to put in work with a sub on this map, but at least in that round, Envoy started to deliver, but he gets shut down before he can get the streaks. But a couple trades for Thieves. And honestly, they've cleared out the back. They have full control of the back. This might be spawn kill time to catch number 6 and number 7. And I don't think either of these players knows exactly where they spawned, but the cover from Octane's there. A couple trades coming through. Drazah wins the 1v1 on John. And for Drazah, again, spawn kill central. He is by himself. He needs to continue to soften this blow as Thieves have a 7 life lead.
They're playing it slow and steady. Drazah's still behind enemy lines, doing his thing. And oh, he's going to find another one. Here comes kill number 3. John maybe reads it. Good shot. Out of John. You finally take care of that little thorn in your backside. You might have sat down on a wasp. I've done that once. It's awful.
Oh, my God.
They take care of that. Tane! Lordy finds himself 2. flying into this one. 17-10 now as LA Thieves starting to walk away with the kills. Chance, you said if you want that final defensive round, this is the way to go about it. Last time we checked in, it was 5. Now it's 10. Not able to get any more, though, as Envoy. He's back into the mix. Oh, my God. Octane is frying right now.
4 HP, though, I assume Kenny. Well, actually, no summon screwed the cleanup decimate, so he's going to be able to heal back up, and you see pairs have regained control. I do not know what's worse, though, sitting on a Wasp or having to take a gunfight against Octane. I mean,
Both
he
awful.
just laser beamed a couple players, but for the moment, Envoy trying to make the play. He is just, for free, gotten through on the flank. Pairs have no idea.
Here he comes. There's the first. Trying to help his teammates in mid. Defense now has to split a little. Fellow, the jump shot should be there. That's a fight he wins. John gets their cleanups. LA Thieves starting to run out of time, though. Got to get a little bit closer. Final seconds now going through, and it's going to be at the kills now. Surely trying to find him, but Tem absolutely smacks the pair of them out of their gaming chairs beside top ring. And Paris Legion win another defensive round. The kills, though, Chance, I think it might be in the LA Thieves' favor for now.
Now, if I did the math right, Paris is up by 1.
Oh,
so it's very close, and Envoy certainly brought it back, but I do think Paris has the slight advantage. And now, this, in my mind, like, it almost feels wrong to say. You definitely want on the opening break, go for it, try to capture A, but I think if Paris ever end up in a situation where they just end up getting stuck in their spawn, even for a moment, you stay there. You stagnate, you turtle, you play for kills, play for picks, like treat it like a round of S&D. Obviously, though, if you can string together and win a round on offense, by all means, but if you get pushed back just once, you have to make that call, I think, and just make sure you get that defense for the round 5, but so far, no one has fallen. Drazah may be the first one to strike, but at least that boat control, Paris is certainly here.
Nice shots that fella. There's 4 now in a row for him. Here comes the hitman himself. Drazah's going to find it. Cleans him up. Big win from John on a force pre of his own. Lordy, the snaps from John. His centering is on point right now. He's a vet out there. A little older than most, but he's looking fine indeed. 51 seconds, clock stop, Chance. Here comes the capture at A, but the close to the range hit now from the LA Thieves should be able to make this very, very close indeed. Octane once again.
This is the moment, by the way. This is what I was talking about. You go 4 down, play for kills. Play for kills. You don't have to fly. There's a nice one. You don't have to push out Cliff. And I think Paris are making that call. You see all the arrows just hanging out in their spawn. John waiting till he can get a teammate to come back him up. And I certainly like the idea. Drazah and Kenny, though, able to deliver. And you see Temp, though, doing the right thing. Get that kill, back down, and just stay alive. Or at least try.
Trying so hard. Good trades, though. This is nice out of Paris. Stay alive, Dashy. Can't quite get it done. Map coverage right now for the LA Thieves. A little too strong. Final 10 seconds. Live count for the LA Thieves. It should give them defense on the final round.
Yeah.
That is going to be the dagger. Oh, baby. Final round now comes about, and it should be LA on defense.
I think Paris threw. Like, it's a weird thing to say that they threw by just like trying to push up the map at a certain point. But I think a couple players, like you're trying to slide out Cliff, like you waited for it. It was a good attempt, but that was the name of the game, to get that round 5 defense. And I think literally just by 2 kills towards the end, Thieves might have had the advantage. We get a spot up, and that is certainly the case. And keep in mind, for the 2 rounds on defense Thieves have had, they have been absolutely dominant. And it's not like Paris have mixed things up and maybe go for a cheeky B hit off the rip. It is just back to the old faithful standard that they have had no success on.
Oh, Drazah manages to get 2 on top boat. His dad Kenny also gets 2 on the other side of the map. And look at those red arrows flying forward. You're about to put him in the old LA Thieves headlock. Paris, there's no option to tap out, but the way you kind of tap out is just get smoked here, and this is not looking good. Temp with a slight bit of air now to breathe. Find the kills. Find the time. 50 seconds now. 1 by 1 Chance. LA Thieves defenders are falling. Gives Paris now the opportunity to make their way forward. They've got to P1 at the very least.
In Paris, it looks like they're sort of leaning towards B. They need to go so much faster, though. I mean, Temp's posted up in the back. Like, if you're leaning towards this B point, just make the commitment and go. You have 30 seconds left on this round. You have no ticks anywhere. They do pick up 3 big kills, and instead of going towards B, they'll take that advantage and just try to go over to Cap A. But obviously, still with only 26 seconds on the clock, Thieves, I mean, they can afford just to fly at this point.
They are going to fly indeed. Here comes Kenny. They've cleaned up the top side of boat. Fellow trying to make his way forward. Temp on the flank. Nice shots from Temp on the flank. Clock still ticking though. 15 seconds now to play with. You have to get on the point, and this is going to be it. Fellow should be able to dive on. The quick contest. Oh, the jump shot. Here comes the rat. 5 try. Kill Octane. You have to stop him. 11.9 seconds on the clock still. Trying to hold this one down. And the raging war now on the bottom side of the boat is still going. Drazah finding one. John now on a 3. Temp on a 3. First segment of A's gone. We slow things down indeed, chance. LA Thieves, though, one clean hit, one clean set of kills. And the game should be theirs.
And I think you have the Swarm as well, right? You got nades on point. That is 2 ticks through, but Fellow back down for a second. I think Drazah right now can make the hero play. Drazah gets him off, and there you see the Swarm Thieves get on in. 10 seconds left on the point. Octane alive, and all of Paris are dead. Hero play delivered. Defense OP. Both of these teams light it up on defense, can't make anything happen on offense. And it came down to just 1 or 2 kills difference in that 4th round to give LA Thieves that edge. Taking care of business on Gavutu, admittedly a little bit dicey, but that is simply just the way the map plays out more often than not. I will say, round 1, love the idea from Thieves. They got 2 ticks over towards B straight off the rip, but outside of a few little ideas, most things just standard. You see Envoy, he's got the SMG, he struggles, it happens, it's Gavutu, it is just like that sometimes. Honestly, the same thing could be said for John at 23 and 29, and I mean, John almost had the moment, picked up like 3 just to set his team up over towards A, but it is just so hard to solidify that point.
I mean, it's the defensive control still runs it there on Gavutu. I mean, that's the rounds are always going to be there. For the offensive teams, I mean, look, that hit for the first one from the LA Thieves, the 2 points over by B, the 2 segments we saw early on, that was the game changer, man. That was that moment where we're like, oh, you can't capture B, you can't do it on Tuscan, you can't do it Gavutu. They got real close, closer than most have come. And this was almost unbelievable. That final moments of these rounds, chance, the 1v1, Kenny v Fellow. And from Fellow's POV here, a couple of shots in, deals the damage. Kenny just chooses the wrong way to push, and that is a clean one from Tyler Felony. Big stuff out of him. What a great round that was. Paris Legion unable to find the kills, mate. And that's one thing we're going to keep seeing until it maybe does get patched and changed, as it was in Cold War. Because kills decide it, you are going to see teams prioritize kills over the points nearly every time when it comes to these control games.
I think over here in the CDL, we appreciate people that actually like to play the objective. Actually, since rank comes out, yeah, play the objective. My teammates, let me tell you, Miles, they had, no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna have to go into a rant, but I will say, as much as we talk about Gavutu being defensive sided, we have seen a couple teams really string together some great opportunities to actually capture B. FaZe has had one great moment where they like 4-stacked it that I think didn't quite work out in the end, but nearly making that happen. Thieves nearly making it happen there, and I think there are certainly a few teams in the league. It might be Boston Breach, who's like 50-50 for their offensive rounds on Gavutu. So some teams are much better on offense than others. I think Thieves and Paris for the moment on that map, 2 teams that very much are really just defensive sided. But I like that at least moment from Thieves to show that they're putting in some work to try to figure out that B point. And it's still only stage 1. We got a lot of year left to play.
A lot of year left to play. And it really feels like the year's already begun now. The rank play's back. But here we are looking into our hard point. Next up is, of course, Bookage. And it's going to be a big one indeed. These are our top performers on either team so far. And it's Envoy and Temp. And chances there, Hilltime's a big difference there. But again, very, very different roles these 2 players play.
Very much so. Yes, I would have to agree. And honestly, for Bookage, I think that might be a decent map pick for Paris. I know Thieves have played on this as well. Thieves are definitely strong at Bookage, but you definitely appreciate the mix of your maps. And I think the most standout thing for me is not necessarily to look at Temp. Obviously, he's got that pop-off potential, but now I think we go back towards the theme for Paris, where the slang power hasn't been quite there. Bookage's map where you need the slang, so I think Felony is the guy I'm looking at, or Fellow, excuse me, to step up for his team. I mean, Felony's fine. That's the, the full
OG
version
tag. Yeah, it's the OG tag. There we go, though. As we come now to Bookage, map number 4. Last time we saw, I think, Paris play Bookage, it was against OpTic not too long ago, against, Texas Optics. I should get that right. Those guys, I think, gave him the hands. Don't put that hand on the map. That's what I'm talking about. I think that was a tough one for them. Again, they got bodied out. We did see some like some signs of life from them, but most of the time, not the strongest set of rotations, kills, nothing holds. It wasn't ideal. I hope they've spent some time in the lab, because otherwise, this is a 3-1.
And I think, OpTic is obviously a very strong team on Bookage as well. If I remember that game from Paris correctly, it was a bunch of hills back and forth, very close game. And then OpTic, who are fantastic on the river hill, just started to blow them out of the water. So I think Paris have had some extra looks, including in like a match capacity where things are generally a little bit slower than when you're playing in scrim. So maybe for Paris, a stronger look here. They should be in a better spot. Again, Fellow is the key guy I'm looking for just to keep up in the slaying department, and I certainly see the potential for Paris. And something aLLeY talked about on the analyst desk, by the way, it is every individual player on Paris has had like fantastic individual moments in game, but the issue is when someone is going large, ordinarily, almost everyone else on the Paris Legion were suffering. We saw that in map number 1, where Temp was having himself a blast, but none of his teammates were able to actually get any of those key like one-on-one kills or trades that they needed, so they get blown out. In game number 2, we had John popping off, making the big plays, and all of his teammates also delivering. And that resulted them getting the win. So Paris, it is really just about everyone delivering. They certainly have the individual talent to make these plays, but to the cage we go.
To the cage we go. You took the words right out of my mouth. And here comes the door right into the face of Envoy. He's not going to slow him down, though. Kills coming his way. Drazah finds 2. Everyone across the board looking comfortable now. Can you push the Paris Legion back into the far recesses of Bocage and find the time? Not an easy thing to do, indeed. 30 seconds remaining on gate. 15 of it already gone the way of the LA Thieves. Eyes towards the top side of the map, though. That's going to be P2 over by tanks.
I mean, this is players all over the map. You had number 1 Octane. I'm pretty sure he spawned on the far right side of the map as his teammates getting the kills over the left to get the spawns over that direction. So spawns have already flipped twice in this just first hard point already. But as far as P1 hills go, this is about as good as it gets for the LA Thieves. You get set up on the rotation, you get a bunch of kills, get a little bit of clearance, and 28 seconds of time is not shabby at all. Take care of Temp and Barn, and look at the map spread. You with Kenny down to watch the Riverside. You have 2 players in and around Barn, and Octane gets the post up in the hill. As far as setups on P2 goes, this is exactly what you want to see. Maybe without the team kills, though. Octane accidentally taking down Drazah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Has to reposition there. Again, I'm loving what we're seeing almost out of Octane there. Temp once again getting himself a 2. Now Paris Legion with a decent amount of map spread and loads of time to be accrued here. Can they handle, though, this wide-fanned attack now from the LA Thieves? Here comes the pinch, and it is pristine, man. Oh, my word. All corners of the map covered. They dive straight in, and they have robbed that hard point back.
And I think, honestly, the theme of this seems to be you just always have to be prepared to watch your own flank. I mean, just constantly. And that goes for both of these teams on P2. One time it was because of spawns. One time it was because of an actual flank. But it is the man that got behind enemy lines that really opens things up for both of the breaks that we saw. So I think given the situation where Paris was dealing with a money hill where Thieves had the full setup, it is not the worst thing in the world to only be down 16 points going into new. Big gunfight, by the way, in the back that Octane delivers. Temp is able to get that kill. Things get spicy, but now once again, it is Thieves in full control of this Grandma's Hill.
Grand Mayor's Hill. Here we go. Drazah should have the pinch on a couple of players. And if you played rank play recently, you know how insane this hard point can get. Kills going the way for the LA Thieves. You still get at least 1 player upstairs. Temp. Nice shots out of Temp now to get the second, man. And he's frying as best he can, given the circumstances. Here comes the side hit. Dashy's in first. Trying to clean up the players at the back. Front door! Woo, baby, what a shot that was. A little bit of help from Fellow. Still Octane through the back line. Trades on point. Trades on point. Spawns at the back. And that's what you're going to see. Like water crashing upon the rocks of Grandma's house. It is going to be non-stop here. But Fellow chance he's doing the best he can to slow down the play.
And also really like the strat to go in to actually break this hill. It's the Little John strat, 1 through the window, 1 through the wall. And, well, that sets you up again. You go in towards not a money hill necessarily, but you go into a setup where Thieves are there early. And you still make amends, get enough of a break. And finally, for the first time, Paris get a rotation to a barn hill where admittedly there's 7 entrances. So it's not easy to hold, but at least Paris, the first time that they could try to make something happen. Trades going all over the front side of this barn. And, well, Kenny's collecting most of them. He's on a 4.
Well, them red and white skulls in the middle of the map looking like a White Stripes album cover in the middle. This is getting insane. Again, this is what you want to see coming out of both of these teams going to the Bocage. And, you know, I think the gameplay is crazy. Let's have a listen in with the LA Thieves and see how they sound.
Spawn back. Go P2, I think.
He's in the back. Mid-door. I have it. I'm one shot. Bait for him. I'm gonna go mid-door.
P2's up.
I'm mid-door somewhere. Let me get it again. I stunned something mid-door unless I don't you guys. Because I'm already going left.
He's inside hut, John.
You hit node?
I don't know.
Hey, I'm
one for Glide, bro.
Slow down. I'm
in-house.
I'm going
Alright, I'm going to left then.
Hey, you should kill this guy time. We can play this.
Yeah, I will. I'll kill the guy.
I'm still playing house.
Good. I'm looking. Gate. Barrels. On time. I'm staying left tunnel.
I'm going for spawn tank. I'm going for spawn tank right now.
I'm staying left tunnel.
In the back. Donnie going back. He's back house like area.
There's another back challenging you.
We didn't flip
Left gate.
Watch out.
Spawned out. There's stay left.
I got just live in the house.
Yeah, he's back house.
Back house, Dashy.
I hit on the top dead.
I see that house.
I nailed top dead.
Nice three.
Down the fast.
He's tower. Donnie, one shot
Stay
back.
up. I'm living
inside tower.
I'm living. I'm down on tower.
I'm coming to help you right. I'm coming to help you right.
I'm out back window.
I just be out.
No hard play kill.
my head.
I got one to be behind you.
Time. Done.
Tower dead. Last guy. Last guy.
I'm together.
I'm playing 3L, brother.
Yeah.
Play fast. I'm trying to figure out.
I'm hard nade on hill.
I can hit top house the gate. Back tower. Left us spawn.
Hey, what's hit house? Hit left.
No, hit tunnel, Donnie on time. It's underneath tunnel still, Donnie.
Push out front of me, bro. Play this time.
We
already got it.
Alright.
Top house.
I'm going top house.
I got
right
this.
now.
Listen to me.
Top house left.
I'm out left.
Top house, John.
Go to me left. I'm trying to wait for you.
I'm Danny time.
Can you just say, listen to me? These guys are frying right now. Chance full streaks for Kenny. You were talking about the kills there during the break. LA Thieves are slaying out Legion here on Blockage.
Yeah, roughly like plus 17, plus 18 in kills for the moment for Thieves. And honestly, again, we talked about how mixy Blockage is. It'll be a theme throughout the year, but this is one of the more controlled performances we've seen. Thieves doing a very nice job of just slowing the game down and keeping control of it as much as you can. And keep in mind, for this rotation, admittedly, we're still a bit of a ways away, but Kenny, should he need to, he is fully streaked out, or at least able to call that glide bomb in. But I think for the moment, it is just kills he is looking for, and kills he should be able to find. I mean, he's 18-9 for the moment. Fellow, though, able to drop him. And this means this is the situation for Paris. You are down by about 60. You get the rotation towards the money hill. You get posted up, and you get a nice little map spread down the line. As you see, Dashy, well, he was towards the bottom. He falls, but you still have that barn control. You get the hill control. This is where Paris needs to begin to mount this comeback.
They're trying, man, but the streaks are going to slow him down. And he doesn't catch anyone. Forces the players off the hard point for now. Here comes the counter-attack now from the LA Thieves. But Paris, they should be able to get the defensive line up. Oh, Kenny, smooth moves. Oh, kills John. What a shot that was. Baits him out. Now Kenny's got the potential to do a lot of damage from top barn side. Temps in the back already. Trying to find it from Stables. Paris through the front, they break. Desi's gonna get him, and this is looking all right, friends. P2, not a bad one whatsoever. This wasn't exactly ideal, nor was the first hard point in our first set, but now for Paris Legion, this is that mid-game resurgence we see them hit.
And they still need the scrap time, though, and you see Drazah is going to be fighting for it. They need to make sure they get these final 20, and they can't even get it. The nade from Octane, able to take Jalen out of that contest spot, and, well, you go towards the money hill. Admittedly, money is a very kind word on this map, but Bears don't get enough out of it. Again, maybe the streak investment for Kenny certainly softens it up and makes it easier, but it is still about that same point discrepancy. About 70 points between these two teams, and you see Thieves taking their time, working the top/left side of this map, trying to get themselves around the back to go for this break.
Here comes the round the back and the front door pinch at the same time. Temp and Desi's finding kills. That's all good for now. And this slow and steady approach from Envoy at the front somehow stays alive. That's impressive indeed. Here comes the front hit once again. Desi v Octane on a 5 spree now for Desi. Streaks are certainly on the menu. Temp still hold downstairs, all good. And you hear the gunfights ringing out from down low. Desi trying to get himself on the streaks. Here comes the push. Nice tags in Envoy. Finds it. That's going to be 6. Any more to be had here? That's going to be full streaks now from Decimate. Locking it down. You've cleaned out Grandmas. You've got LA Thieves spawning at the back. Oh, vous allez, Paris. You're going to lose the next 15 chance, but they've got themselves a lot of map spread.
I think that might actually be a little bit tough as well, just to give away that scrap time. I mean, it was still a very strong hill for Paris, absolutely. They went into it down by 70. Now they cut it down to about 50. But certainly that scrap time would have been nice, especially after getting those kills. I think maybe just a little unaware that they could have potentially tried to spawn trap them in the back. But even still, look at the clearance. You got number 5, Desi. He just pushed up the tank. Temp's another cutoff man, but right now it is the middle of the map where Thieves are trying to swarm from. And Fellow is playing a deep angle. I think Thieves, if they just go straight towards the barn, they might be able to get this break free and easy.
Temp play in a corner, finds at least one. His teammates doing what they can there on the inside of the barn as well, but it's an absolute fiesta, friends. Temp can't get any more. Envoy wins it on the outside. All now down to Dashy on the inside of the barn. This hard point is a nutty one indeed, friends. But Dashy finds two more. That's unbelievable. Now, the time's still ticking in Paris' favor. 25 seconds remaining here. We've still got the glide bomb to play with. The team's pushing on up. Dashy could spring to life. Whoa, nearly get a few more. Thieves now back on the point, but for how long? Good hold from Paris Legion, and in a second now, they're about to take the lead. There we go. Is this the new beginning chance for Paris Legion here on Røkkr?
I mean, we had the worst game in the CDL so far for game number 1, biggest blowout, and that was Thieves taking it to them. This might be the largest comeback we have seen on Røkkr from being down 70, but now this is the problem. I think you have to use the glide bomb here to try to break this river hill, and Dashy is going to be calling it in, but right now his teammates don't have a ton of map pressure. You know, one's in tunnel, one was back in the tower, and they got 2 players over towards barn, but Thieves for the moment still inside this hill.
Still inside it. Front safe. 3 kills go in the way of the LA Thieves. All good for now. They'll let that one go. 30 seconds remaining on the point still. And Envoy's posted up. Here comes the hit now from Paris through the backside. Good job out of Paris to fight their way forward. Last player's up now on the point. Spawns are still close on the right-hand side now for LA Thieves, so it's going to be on Octane. They'll find a couple of shots here, get the job done. Good coverage out of the LA Thieves. Temp's got to find something. No chance. Over 200 points we go. 10 seconds remaining. And mate, we're going to a third set of hard points. And there's a minute 29 on the clock. What year is it?
2022. I think that was a mishap, though. Use that streak and you can't even break the hill. I'm not saying it's easy, but you don't deliver it well. You are back down to being behind 40 points, and this is not the hill where you were going to be able to make any sort of comeback on. And I think that might have been the moment of the game where Paris just let it slip. But hey, 3 in the feed for them. You still have the opening, and Thieves are still spawning on the right side, and John on a 4, picking up 3 in the feed. So they are down but not out, looking to make the comeback for the second time in the same game. The cutoff man, well, gets dropped. You go back to sort of that 50-50 spread across the map, and actually not so much Paris. Still on that left side of the map. The opportunity, the dream, still alive.
Still alive. You do lose that one player out by tank field. That was going to be Fellow. And now the LA Thieves spreading their wings over the cage. Dassy's going to find 2. Temp's got to go big here at the back of the map. Will he be able to do it? Howdy! That's an awkward fight indeed, and Kenny wins it. That should be spawn secure now for P2. That should be the time. And Envoy's on a 5, looking to get himself streaks as well. He is going rogue right now, flying all over the place, slaying his way through. That's going to be kill number 6. Chance, this should be it. Will we get a clean break out of Paris? Will we see something special from Envoy? Here we go. 10 seconds now for the win.
Yeah, Envoy is, the cutoff man. He's on a 6, right? LA Thieves, they just flip that switch, and I think Envoy is the right idea. Play for kills, get a couple packs, keep it weakened while he gets traded 5 seconds away before Thieves walk away from this game. Drazah on the flank, Drazah for 2, and Drazah, by the looks of it, for the game. Hard point reigns supreme. LA Thieves deliver. No comebacks today. 3-1 victory. Thieves get it done.
Paris once again showing, great resilience when it comes to those tough Røkkr maps, but they're just getting slayed so hard, man. They're really struggling in the kills department. 3-1 will be that final score, and this guy wishes he didn't change his pick'ems at the last minute before the day started, because that was an incredible performance once again on that Berlin. But there you go, friends. The LA Thieves, it's going to be a 3-1. Those final sips of game fuel there for the boys, as they can now pat themselves on the back. A job well done. Kills across the board, though, there from Kenny, 33 and 24. Everyone looking absolutely fine and dandy. And it was a decent effort there from Fellow, again, 31-27 for him, but chance to come back, it's a little too late. Every single time it feels like with the hard points here from Paris Legion.
Well, I think, so for one, signs of life for Paris Legion. I'd say for a team that hasn't won a series yet in this year of the CDL, much better of a performance for their final game before Major 1 at the very least. I think the theme was sort of just failure to execute. Like in the S&D, absolutely they executed the game plan. They had maybe one round where they didn't perform as well as I would have liked. Outside of that, completely on point. They got that 6-3 win. They only got outslayed by 11 kills on the Gavutu hardpoint and only got 57 points. That is a massive failure of execution on a couple different hills. And I think even the control, if they just pull that defense for the round 5, which again in the round 4, failure to execute, not being able to get out of your spawn, just throwing away a couple lives, it could have been a very different series. So I think maybe Paris is in the situation where clean up a few things, even the failure to execute on the glide bomb they had for the river break. I think a much tighter series that they had where the if they could just be a little bit more clutch in the respawns, they will be a threat come Major 1.
Yeah, and Major 1, very, very close indeed, friends. It's, what, 2 weeks away from here. We're going to be going to Texas, the esports arena Arlington, and be seeing what OpTic Texas can put on a good show for us. And again, if the Paris Legion team could put in the work before then, there's plenty of time to right the wrongs, but they will most likely be starting in lower bracket. There we go, though. The 3-1 comes to a close. Gavutu, and Bocage being the maps of success there for the LA Thieves. But that 6-3, man, that's going to haunt them, really. I mean, like, they had a lovely start chance when it came to those first 3 rounds. After that, it was just a blowout. It was awful. And that comes from the confidence plays there coming out of Paris. Looking delightful, I must say, in the Search and Destroy. But much to still be desired when it comes to those respawn game modes. Veli and my friends on the desk, what do we make of the joyous performance we saw from the LA Thieves?
Well, before I answer that, all I want to say is what I make of Chance's wardrobe right now. We look like twins, man. I'm like the brown version of you. Great commentary, by the way. But that was a good series. We saw a lot coming in from Paris towards the end, but it still wasn't enough. But, yo, Nameless. LA Thieves, all smiles after game 1, almost winning hardpoint by 200 points.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, they're 7-1 in hardpoint now. It's just lockstep in that game mode. They know exactly what they needed to do. And, you know, Chance was bringing up a good point about Paris, the failure to execute. But on the flip side of that, for the LA Thieves, they're pouncing on these opportunities, right? They're responding accordingly. We saw it in that first map. They didn't outslay them by a ton, but they were winning the gunfights they needed to win. They won every single rotation. Like, the guys had them in the blender. And then even on that last map, the glide comes in, Envoy runs all the way through the tunnel, and then they respond the right way. He runs back out towards the hill, pushes out, gets the kill, pushes them even further back, and then hits the next rotation right away. So, like, these guys, they play such structured hardpoint, and you could see that it's paying off, and that gives them confidence throughout the rest of the series. Despite losing, you know, a Search and Destroy, they bounce back, and they're able to
They make it look simple, man.
Yeah,
aLLeY, take a look at Paris as well. I mean, okay, there's a lot to say. First map, blowout, got destroyed, right? But then after that, they seem to pick it up. Control was a really good defensive battle, and then the last map there, the comeback on the hard point, we're still seeing those flashes from this team.
So, you know, you can only say so much about a series like this that was so dominant by LA Thieves, but I do want to say to a point, many of us would want to write off Paris Legion, right? We want to write off, they haven't won a series yet. They've seriously been struggling, especially after that hard point. However, that Search was like a beam of light at the end of the tunnel for this team, right? They looked fantastic. After that round 6 tiebreaker, them jiggling out peak on A and then having Temp come in from the back with the auto to win that gunfight and then collapsing onto the site and getting all of the kills and then winning, you know, the rest in a row. It was a light at the end of the tunnel for them. But for this team, like we said going into this, it's one player going off and the rest of them absolutely getting put in a blender. Map 1, it was Temp. Map 2, John went off and everybody else was on the same page. But then we go to map 3, it was Fellow, and then map 4, it was Fellow again. Now I do want to make a point that Des did go on a spree. He did get streaks, however, he had over 60 engagements. He was like 31 and 30 at some point. So what that tells me is nobody's trading him out.
Yeah, the team, they're going to have to pick it up together. And we also have, a Game Fuel Spotlight player interview with the one and only Drazah. Let's get him up on the screen. I have a question for you, man, straight up. Congratulations on the big win. But after the first... Thank you, man. After the first map, you guys were all smiles. It was all fun and games. You guys lost Search and Destroy, and there was nothing but serious faces from that point on forward. When it came to that last hard point, seeing Paris come back to you guys and take the lead mid-game, what do you look forward to when it comes to your team? Or it could be, you know, a play style, a player, anything to really get you guys back in the loop to win out a round like that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not really I'm just looking for us to play our game, honestly, not some certain player or anything. As long as we are calming well and playing like we normally do, we should be good to bounce back from any situation that we're in.
Absolutely, and I gotta talk to you about Search and Destroy. It feels like you guys are dominant in Respawn right now, but the Search is seriously struggling. You know, when you win a round, it's pretty easy. You all 4 up, you're typically still in that situation. But man, when you start going down, it seems like you guys are struggling to get back on your feet. Do you have any reasoning for that?
Honestly, I was making some mistakes in the S&D as well, but I think the only thing in our S&D really is showing some new looks on how to play the game. Like, keep them guessing on what we're gonna do and where we're gonna be, and for just mid-game situations, just get our situationals up a little bit where we're not needing to calm as much, but kind of like already knowing what to do and what to pick up in like 3v2s, or if we get first blood, like making sure no one can pinch or anything, which is a mistake sometimes, but we're looking forward to do better at that. And if we get our S&D up, then we're gonna be the best.
All right, I mean, I guess that's kind of my next question, Drazah. First, congrats on the win, but what is going to be the difference maker at the major for you guys in order for you guys to get that championship? Because right now, it seems like your guys' hardpoint looks pretty good. Control is a little bit up and down as well. So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, honestly, we haven't won the coin toss at all, really, besides today. So I feel like if we get some more Gav hardpoint or control, in there, I think we can, change our record up in control. But I think if we get our S&D game 2 and 5, I think if we fix our S&D, I think that is what will make us win the major.
All right, this is the last weekend before the major as well, so I know you guys are excited and ready. So I'm going to leave this space for you to just give a shout out to the fans. If there's a special person out there you want to say hi to or whatnot, and tell them that LA Thieves are coming to Major 1 to mess things up, man.
Yeah, no, it's a huge shout out to everyone in Alaska. I have my whole entire family out there. I have my girlfriend here in LA, and recently my brother just moved back to Alaska. So huge shout out to all of them, every single LA Thieves fan who supports me on Twitter, supports the whole team, Twitch, all that. You guys are insane, and I'm very excited for this next LAN. LA Thieves is coming, coming crazy. We fixed our S&D up a little bit, and you'll have something to root for sure.
Let them know, man. I hope you guys pick up on that S&D so we could all root for you guys to just go crazy. But once again, congrats on the win, and we'll see you next time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, man. That was a big shout out, by the way. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, we're going to have an amazing matchup. Atlanta FaZe will be taking on the Minnesota Røkkr, and this lobby is going to be absolutely stacked from the likes of Arcitys, Standy, Attach, even aBeZy. I mean, this is going to be absolutely nuts.
It's going to be a lit match. I mean, like we said, Minnesota matches are always a grueler, so we'll see if there's a team that can come in and take it quick against them. It would be Atlanta FaZe if it's anyone.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, that's about it for the first series of the day. But coming up next is exactly what we talked about. Two big and really good teams are going to be facing off. I can't wait to see them in the lobby, and I can't wait to see you beautiful people on the other side of this break. You take it easy.
Juicy League is brought to you by Zenny Gaming. Armor your eyes with Block's gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenny.com/CDL.
The prophecy will be told. You will not escape your fate. When the cold wind blows.
Cellium provides two right off the rip, makes it three. Taken down 1-5-1, last man standing. Oh! It's real early. The BZ waiting to pounce. There's the next, give him the last point for him. Waiting for his demise, and there it is. Look at the minimap FaZe are in. It's the guts, it's the glory, it's the championship for FaZe.
Welcome back to one of my favorite matchups of the day. Personally, the Atlanta FaZe will be taking on the Minnesota Røkkr. And Atlanta FaZe, they got some heavy hitters on their team. And speaking of which, right now what you're looking at are the top 5 KDs in the league overall. And at the top, you're looking at them. Cellium is absolutely killing it with a 1.31.
Not to mention there's aBeZy up there as well, but we do have to talk about Cellium. Nameless said the flex players have kind of been the players to watch this season, and Cellium is the prime example of that. He has been so consistent for this squad and really stepping it up with the fact that Simp and aBeZy have still been getting comfortable in this game. And Atlanta FaZe, well, their wins have been all uncomfortable.
You're right, Nameless, you were talking about it a lot, especially in week 1 where you were saying, you know what, man, the flex players are stepping up big this year.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen some of those guys taking over for their teams. I mean, you look at Sib as well. He's another one who's just been lighting it up. Like when those guys are having good series, it just seems that you're going to be finding success when it comes to the respawns. And in this one, like Cellium is matching up with a player like Priestahh, who has not been playing that great as a flex player in this game. And then even MajorManiak as well. Like he had a big series early on, but overall, the hardpoint for this Minnesota team, it has not been ideal. I mean, 1-3 last week in hardpoint, going up against a team like Atlanta FaZe, that's terrifying.
And Atlanta FaZe are going to have SMG players just roaming around the map, just absolutely killing it. And speaking of which, I mean, yeah, we're talking about Cellium, but yo, Nameless, you got the likes of aBeZy, you got Arcitys, you got Simp. It's going to be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, thinking about this FaZe roster is just like the perfect roster in every single position. And these guys, they're continuously playing, you know, their worst maps and try to get better on it as time goes on. And they've been doing it. It's been looking good so far.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, Arcitys has been a big player for me thus far, not only being in that main AR role, but when it comes to the search, man, we saw him pop off with a sub as well, Nameless.
Yeah, and for the game fuel keys to victory for Atlanta FaZe, get Simp going and things get scary. 0.97 KD so far this season. Yeah, he had a good series in their last one though. 0.97, that's actually not that bad. There's just another level he can get to. Winning rotations will lead to locking down hills. Atlanta is first in hold percentage. Minnesota 11th in break percentage. Like I said, Minnesota has not been good at hardpoint. For Atlanta FaZe, they're first in hold percentage. This is a nightmare matchup for Minnesota. Atlanta does what they do normally. Should wipe the floor with them in that game mode. And then 4v3 in Cruise, second in first blood win percentage. So it's starting to work. They're going out there, they're getting that blood, and they secure the round. And that comes down to the coaching and the assistance from people like Tupac, from people like RJ and Crowder, their head coach. It works well.
So they're starting off the game strong with the first bloods. Atlanta FaZe, they're just winning outright. The players at the top of the leaderboard right now, they're going to be going against Minnesota Røkkr. Now, last week, they were 0-2. They went against the likes of the London Royal Ravens, which is really rough, right? And then they went against Seattle Surge, where they made the Surge look human for the first time here in the CDL.
Yeah.
But against FaZe right now, Minnesota's going to have to definitely bring it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they have to lock down that game 2, search and destroy. And then you're going to have to steal that control possibly because, like we said, hardpoint has not been looking good. So if they're able to win that search and somehow force it to a game 5, depending on what respawn they take, then they have a chance. Like that's the way Minnesota gets it done against FaZe. They have to be winning those S&Ds.
Yeah, and we're looking at Priestahh, right? To have more presence on the map, he's going to have to match up against a player like Cellium, which is a very large feat to ask for this squad. But you know what? They've been pushing these teams to game 5s. And when it comes to game fuel, keys to victory, well, they got a better post-plant teamwork last and win percentage after getting the bomb. down and, of course, get a trade. Last respawn, non-traded death percentage. And you know what? I think that comes down to the slaying capabilities on this squad being very hot and cold. So if their SNGs can stay a little bit more consistent, I don't see an issue there. And, of course, make the offense work for the first cap in control. Their last and average time left after the first capture, meaning that they are getting that first point very, very late and not leaving themselves a lot of wiggle room when it comes to control, getting onto that B site.
Yeah, and aLLeY, you know, we talk about Priestahh a lot, how much we want to see him step up. And the thing is, we're not punching down at him because we believe that Priestahh is an absolute beast. And what we've known from him and what we've seen from him in the past, the man can take over. I would love to see a matchup with Atlanta FaZe well.
Well, the teamwork of this Minnesota Røkkr squad is on par with some of these top squads like LA Thieves, like Toronto Ultra, that are based around them sticking together and playing around each other. The only issue is they have been struggling with the confidence in their decision.